Hey everyone, Erin here. You just saw me planting up the urn that's in the middle of the patio garden. This is like a major focal point in the garden, so I do put a lot of thought into what's going to grow in this urn, and I love a big centerpiece. So some of the other things I've done in this spot before are, well, last year I did the lemony lace elderberry as the main plant in it. I have done coffee cups, colocasia. I've done a couple of different cannas. The one problem with cannas is that which I love, I particularly love Tropicana cannas. The problem with cannas is that the Japanese beetles tend to go for them, and when they're up that high, I can't reach the Japanese beetles to pick them off. I did a vertigo pennisetum in this urn's predecessor that ate the whole container. Actually, it broke the container. That's how I got this one, is because it broke the previous container. So like many of my containers this year, I'm really taking some chances with the plants that I'm putting in here. These are plants that I don't know how they're going to perform exactly. And I'm able to do that this year, kind of experiment a little bit more with things, because I have no photo shoots or garden tours or anything planned for this year. So I feel like I'm off the hook. If it doesn't work, well, I can do whatever I want about it. But if you have an event coming or something and something doesn't work, then you got to scramble and figure something else out. So I wouldn't do that with container after container after container if it was one of those kinds of years. It's not, so I get to put weird things in containers this year. So let's take a closer look at the weird things that are going in this container, which I think you'll notice is basically a purple, gray, silver kind of theme. So the main feature plant in here, the centerpiece plant, is Melianthus. And this gets huge in places where it grows in the ground and overwinters. It is not hardy for me here. I had to order this from Digging Dog as a small plant. I've been growing it in a container since then. It does get flowers on it. I don't know that I'll see the flowers, but it doesn't matter because it's all about the foliage. Now, I was looking for a variety called Antonov's Blue and I couldn't find it anywhere. So this is just the straight Melianthus. I think sometimes it's called peanut butter plant. And sure enough, the other day I was carrying it and I went, oh wow, it really does smell like peanut butter. So when it's growing in the ground, this plant can get like 8 feet tall. If this plant gets to 4 feet tall in this container, or even 3 feet tall, this container will be a success just for that. So loving this. I just love this texture and this foliage, and it gets kind of this tiered habit. So hopefully that will take off now that it's in a pot. Now, there is a shrub in this container. Can you find it? Let me help. It's this adorable little thing over here. I love this plant. This is Loropetalum purple pixie. It's a, petite sort of trailing Loropetalum. And I wish Loropetalum was hardy for me. Unfortunately, it's not. But what a perfect, absolutely perfect trailer. And honestly, I'm not in a simple mood this year, clearly, but if I were in a simple mood, Melianthus and just this, with maybe like a grassy texture in there, would be a perfect combination in a planter. Other sort of special or oddball plants that I've put in here, well, of course we have another bromeliad in here. This one is Elwood. This is another one of the bromeliads that I brought home from Florida. And actually over here, I'll show you the other side in a second, but over here, that is a pup from one of them. It's also Elwood. Then front and center here is Centura Silver Swirl. This is the new plant from Darwin Perennials. It's out this year that I've been just ogling like crazy, and I'm so excited that I got a couple of sample plants of this, actually 3 sample plants of this. So this stays this beautiful foliage. Very excited about that. Also back here you will see this is Senecio Skyscraper, and that's a southern living plant too. I got that plant 3 years ago now, and I just keep taking cuttings off it. So these are just some cuttings that I threw into a pot. They probably won't get as big as Skyscraper, but I think there'll be a very cool texture in here. And on the texture front, we also have a eucalyptus in here. I thought, well, why not? Stick it in, it kind of follows the color theme. This is lotus vine, parrot's beak. Now it does get flowers on it that are kind of red, which does not go with this, but I will probably just pinch the flowers off. The beautiful pink that you see here is Silene Sabella Carmine, which I grew from seed. And I don't know how that plant's going to perform. I think it might not love it when it gets hot out, so there's certainly plenty else in this container to carry it on when it does get hot, if it's going to kind of, you know, falter a little bit in the heat. Then there's a few tried and true classics in here. We've got a couple of Lobularia Violet Night in here, and then I've got another one tucked back here, which is kind of out of flower at the moment. And that should kind of mound up here. We've got Violet Ice Superbena. I do love the Superbenas. I'm a Superbena fan. So I stuck actually 3 or maybe 4 of those in here, actually. I find myself in the absolute amazing position that the purple bellvine that I started from seed this year actually grew so well I have spares. Never happened before. And so I'm trying them in a couple containers as trailers, including here. Now, if this trails too much or doesn't look great, I also, you know, I could also sort of tuck it around like this. And it could always, you know, could do that around the pot if I felt like doing that later. For now, I'm going to let it, well, maybe we should, no, I'm going to let it hang for now. But I can always do that. That's kind of how I use it in bouquets, too. We do, Dichondra Silver Falls is another trailer. I don't usually put trailers in here, but I think silver trailers will work because there'll be a contrast from all the green foliage that's around. I do have a Secretia Purple Heart back here. And then another one of the Centaura Silver Swirls over there, which I hope you see kind of from this angle. I hope that's not sort of a wasted plant, but you do see this planter almost from 360. Just look at these cool flowers on this. So neat. Easy to grow from seed too. So that is this planter. So there is a little bit of mixing of shades of purple in here that might be a little questionable. Like, I don't know that this and this are gonna go together, but also I sort of feel like flowers just go together. And yes, it's a lot of plants jammed in a container. However, this is a very deep, this is, what is the width on this urn? I think the inside width on this urn is like 26 inches or maybe 20, I think it's 28 inches on the inside dimension of this. So this is a big planter and it is quite deep, and I do have soil all the way down on this. So I think there's plenty of soil volume to handle this. Keep in mind the bromeliads need nothing. They're not even really in there and they don't really get water. They don't have roots that need any attention. So if everything works out the way my brain is thinking this might work out, this is going to be an amazing planter. If it doesn't, it's a learning experience and it's a good time for that to happen. But I hope everything takes off here because there are some real stunner plants in here and I can't wait to see them all grow together. So with this urn now planted, there are only 3 shade containers, a little cluster of them that I'm waiting for some special plants to come for. And then we're finished with the sort of planned container planting. I say planned because at the end of this process, I am always left with sort of random collections of plants, and I often end up just making little containers here and there to plunk around so that I can put those plants in containers. And I just realized I meant to put wire vine in here. Hold on, I'm gonna get some wire vine. I think we can jam a couple of wire vines in here. Shoot, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna just tuck this underneath this Superbena right here. There's one. I'm gonna stick one over there too. Can she jam in one more plant? If she pushes real hard, she can. There we go. Yep, it's good. Plenty of room over here for this guy. There. Good. I feel better now. Okay, now it's done. I'm sure those wire vines made all the difference, right? All right, thank you for watching. Hope you liked this one. I hope it inspired you to try, go nuts, try something weird in your containers and see if you like it or not. The world is your oyster and containers are temporary, so live it up in them. All right, have a great day in your garden. We'll see you soon.